I'm back. I've bribed my dogs with treats. And now my goal, where am I? I need to find this guy. Okay, so what am I going to do? What route am I going to take? I think I'm going to hook left here. I'm going to travel alongside the lake until I get to Skingrad, a very appealingly named town. Excellent. So this is the right direction given my plan. I got some Skingrad right here for you, buddy. I thought I'd briefly reflect on my comedy open mic that I did last night. You see, I've been curious about whether funny poetry performs better written or read aloud. It turns out that it performs a lot better written. I bombed very hard last night. I got some necessary laughs. What necessary laughs are is when the joke is actually kind of funny and people can't help but laugh. But it's still very, I guess, cringe. So I would get some sudden, powerful laughs, and I would generally just make people cringe. And I learned a lot from it. I don't really mind that I embarrass myself for upwards of 5 minutes. I've previously done well with my sets of one-liners, especially with bigger crowds. I was kind of pissed, though, at how standoffish everyone was after the event towards me. I think that comics should feel free to bomb without having to worry about their reputation. And that's true of art in general, is that art, to actually, succeed consistently, needs to acquaint itself with the possibility of being a bunch of irredeemable fucking garbage, right? Artists should be able to make crap and not mind. This is just generally true beyond comedy. I feel like with comedy it sounds self-interested the way I put it, right? It's like, oh, you're just saying that because you bombed. No, I'm saying that because people bomb all the time. It's worthwhile to consider how much you can actually learn from doing poorly in art. I feel like actually that's kind of what Bethesda has been doing. Is that it has been getting some pretty global complaints with each game that's released, and it's been trying to address them. The dev work done. For the most part, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure of the extent to which I really trust, what is it, Elder Scrolls 6 at this point, the upcoming one. I'm really not sure, because of what I've said earlier regarding Bethesda as a company and how it's become kind of big, and there's less room for spontaneity in the actual conceptual design of the levels, right? Like, we're not going to get another Blackreach because of that. So, we'll see. I feel like the way that game design is mediated with money is a complicated question, I mean, another example would be Baldur's Gate 3, which was released recently, relatively recently, like a couple of years ago. And it was kind of a sleeper hit, right? The studio just wanted to do something good. Larian. And that's been the general narrative around it, is that Larian was really just trying their best to make a great game. And that seems to be something that's not so common anymore, right? A great game is secondary as a consideration to the actual money made. And of course, this is not just true for games. This is applied for a longer period of time to other art forms like film, where the threshold of entry can often be so high, right? Jurassic Park couldn't be made on a budget. But, I mean, it's not all too dissimilar from the Frankfurt School critique of the culture industry, right? Is that for more technically unwieldy or sophisticated mediums, the actual monetary threshold for entry becomes almost impossibly high for anyone actually trying to formally integrate the aesthetic materials, for anyone trying to make a good game or movie or whatever, right? music tends to be a little more low threshold for entry, right? Like a lot of people can just make some cool music out of seemingly nowhere with no money. Which is why, as a form of art, it has tended to remain good more often than other, for example, TV has become very terrible on a lot of levels recently, right? Streaming. Shows streaming have been bad. And I feel like the extent to which TV has become terrible in society is really just a measure of how good TV could actually be, right? If we had a way in society of consistently trying to, like, put money towards making good TV rather than just making TV that will make more money. So it's worthwhile to consider, like, the extent to which a lot of genres in art have been shit is really how good they could be, right? It's a measure of how much these aesthetic possibilities of the individual art forms are going unrealized, unrecognized. A good example within the genre of music would be these fucking synths we always hear, in post-punk and such, new wave music. Like, a synthesizer could produce any kind of sound, come to think of it. But all I end up hearing from the 80s were those, like, weird two-chord progressions, like, Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That song was actually interesting by virtue of the way that the riff disoriented the listener from the synth chord progression. But the synth chord progression was a very pre-standardized material that was typical, right? So the extent to which synths could be anything is really the extent to which they seem to us as just one thing. And this is true for more than just synths. Of course, it applies directly to what I've said about video games and TV. I'm going to try to table some of these more general discussions for a second as I explore the environment. Priory. What is a priory? I feel like I've seen that word often in the kind of Wayne Priory, right?
Where are you?
Oh, okay. This priory has bad guys in it.
Take that!
Take that. Why don't you take that instead? Dummy. Got a repair hammer. Excellent. We're gonna need to take a nap soon to level up. Just got some frame drop there. Now, I'm not sure of the extent to which Twitch allows rewinds. It's been so long since I've actually monitored someone else's stream. But feel free, if you are a new viewer, which you aren't, seeing as there are currently 0 viewers, feel free anyway to rewind. I give some contextual background at the beginning of this stream. My sound check has succeeded, so I hope to basically keep this set up in the future. Yeah, you might be have been doubtful watching the first portion of the stream, which you haven't since there are 0 viewers currently. Maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're picking this up on YouTube. You might be doubtful that Nietzsche and I are exactly the same guy. And I wanted to reiterate that doesn't mean that I'm his reincarnation, or that we share the same memories, or that really I know what he has experienced on a direct level. What it instead means is that we would have reacted the same way under identical historical circumstances. So right now, like, let's say that Nietzsche got laid off from his sort of engineering job, which he just would have been good at without particularly trying, because of the extent to which he had formalized his own subjectivity mathematically. Anyway, let's say he got laid off, he would basically just start a Twitch and begin streaming there. Maybe to potentially monetize it, but more or less just to pass the time, right? I like RPGs because they structure my personal time socially. I feel like I'm experiencing society via RPGs in a way I don't actually in society, because of the extent to which society has become shit, right? That's really what Marxism's point in the present would be, for instance, is that society has become shit in a way we fail to directly see. I think this we would call this historical regression, history regressing. Okay, I killed those bitches, I'm glad. My dog has been panting and whining at me for a while. I'll just see if he needs to OUT. What do we want to do? Do we want to try this dungeon? We'd like to take a look at this dungeon, huh? Yes, Goblin Jim. He sounds like a very amiable goblin by his homely name. Let's see. Yeah, so I will add the caveat to my current experience of these Oblivion dungeons that they might get more redundant later. But so far what I've noticed has been the extent of the textural contrast, right? Is each of these dungeons I've explored has been very different, very unique with respect to all the others. I think that's a good feature to have. I mean, I know Skyrim has kind of a similar layout of like caves and crypts and tombs. It has White Skin City. That sounds racist. Is that what I saw? Is that what I saw? Hold on, let me see. Before I enter this this White Skin City, I think I'm gonna. That would have been bad. That would have been real bad. Fire was a little extra there. Okay, so this looks like a cul-de-sac. White Skin Goblin. Okay, I really wish I understood what it meant that this goblin was called White Skin, but I might never know. Okay. White Skin City. Let's do this. Note there. We are diving further into the bowels of White Skin City. I see no white skin quite yet, except in that mushroom over there. The name does not feel appropriately chosen at present. might have been the case that I picked up an accidental... Yeah, I don't want that 14 pound steel shield. I'm gonna go with light armor exclusively, as I tend to do with these fucking games. White skin mushroom. Okay. Now, it's time to kill whoever's in here. Sneak attack for 1 times damage. White skin goblin. Another white skin goblin. I really don't feel like these goblins' skin has been that white. But, you know, grain of salt. Play down. Sorry, that was addressed to my dog, not my 0 viewers. Oh, I have it. Excellent. Alright, we are, currently in the midst of exploration of White Skin City in this fucking cave. Which apparently the leader of White Skin City has been Jim the Goblin. I really do wish that the titling of this dungeon were a little bit more straightforward and explicable. But I feel like I'm fighting a bunch of, I don't know, neo-Nazi goblins. Like, what's the deal here? My dog has been acting up. He's been whining intermittently. And he really has no reason to be doing that. I see that my viewer has left. Oh well. I guess I'll kill some more of these goblins. Oh, this white-skinned goblin war chief looks like he might actually have some whitish skin. Let's see, do I have any conjuration skills available? I do feel like I have that. What is it? Ancestor Guardian. Yes. Okay. Is that a targeted spell? Targeted location. Well, it was worth trying. Switch my spells. What I need a quill and she is full. What I need those things for in this game? What am I doing? Calligraphy and gardening? I've been told that my narration is good. So, I feel like I have a trap. What's that? Trap. It's a trap. Okay, I think we have some lower level creatures to kill. You have a unibrow? Oh shit. That's a concern. Well, I handled that situation quite astutely. My dogs are currently attacking each other. I just thought I'd make my 0 viewers aware of that, in case there comes to be a spontaneous sound that isn't me on my stream. good news, technically, is that this stream has been well established. It didn't appear to be as much of a problem as I was worried it would be. This means that the frame rate is okay, the audio and video are decently okay. I can stream for the foreseeable future with no further complications as far as I'm aware. Other than my dogs eating each other's asses or something. I have a killed that guy. Yeah, I do like the construction of these caves, the sort of spacious, empty room construction of some of the spaces here. I think that it will be worthwhile for future RPGs to actually more explicitly reconsider the role the procedural generation of dungeons actually ought to take in their construction, right? Because we have a very careful and meticulous kind of design going into Skyrim, aware of the faults of Oblivion. But I feel like there's something actually quite helpful, quite interesting. Shut up. Sorry, that was my dog. About the way Oblivion has been designed as well. You know, there's kind of the randomness of it actually becomes a facet of the player's experience, and it can be cool. It can be interesting from that perspective. The feeling that you're just thrown into this fucking place and don't know what the hell you're doing. Right? That's something that I feel like is actually a little bit missing from Skyrim. Relative to Oblivion. Okay, let's see. I think I might take a break. I do not know of a definite streaming schedule. I'll probably work on getting these uploaded to YouTube tonight. And beyond that, I'll send out a happy message to my 0 viewers. I'm glad that you were able not to join this stream. There being 0 of you and all, and I hope to see more than you in the future. Thank you. Bye.